Hey everyone, welcome back to my astrology channel. Today we're going to talk about Sun in Aries in the first house. So we're going to look at it with an Aries ascendant. Of course, if Sun is in Aries in the first house, we're going to have an Aries ascendant. All right. So to answer that, first we're going to look at the characteristics of the Sun, characteristics of the first house, and also Aries itself. We're going to find out who is the Lord of Aries, and also what are the characteristics of that Lord. All right, so let's get started. So, what is Sun? What are the characteristics of Sun? So, Sun is power, Sun is fame, Sun is ego, Sun is energy, Sun is how you look, your self expression, even your self esteem. Sun is your right eye, Sun is the father, and above all, Sun is your soul. When you see Sun in the first house of your horoscope, what that means is you find the most happiness and contentment, or your soul finds the most happiness and contentment with yourself. Your soul is the happiest when it's with yourself. So that's Sun in the first house. Now, let's go to what are the characteristics of the first house. What is the first house in the horoscope? First house is yourself, your identity, your health, your vitality, how you look on the outside. Sun is also your top of the head. So those are the things that the first house tells you. Now let's talk about Aries. Who is the Lord of Aries? Mars is the Lord of Aries. Okay. Now let's look at the characteristics of Mars before we go any further. What is Mars? Mars is the commander of the universe. If Sun is the king, and I forgot to mention, king is also a characteristic of the Sun, royalty, royal king. So if Sun is the king, Moon, say, is the mother or the queen, then Mars is commander. You give orders to Mars and it gets done. So Mars is also energy with that action. That's Mars for you. Mars also represents your brothers, courage, aggression. It can also be, a lot of other things in the horoscope, like surgeries, accidents, things like that. But in this particular scenario, it would be more of that courage, more of the energy and things like that. So now let's talk about what is the connection between Sun and Mars, right? So think about this. As Sun has come to sit in Mars's house, what happens then is you got to figure out the relationship. Are they friends? Are they enemies? How is their relationship to each other? So Sun and Mars are friends. So when a friend has come to sit in a friend's house, it's comfortable, it's happy. So in this particular horoscope, the native is going to be, keep in mind, we're not talking about any aspects at this time, any malefic, benefic, any of those aspects, because that will change what I'm about to tell you. If you've got a Saturn aspect on this particular house, on the first house, depending on whether Saturn is malefic for that horoscope or benefic for that horoscope, it's going to give those results in addition to what I'm about to tell you. If it's malefic, those results that I'm about to tell you, they're going to be completely opposite of what it could be. Now, if it's benefic aspects coming from Jupiter, those results could be even better, than what I'm about to tell you. So, all right, but in general, let's say there are no malefic or benefic aspects on it. And also, there are no conjunctions, which means Sun is not also sitting with other planets in the first house. So say Sun is sitting with Saturn in that first house, the results will be different. So Sun sitting in Aries, just like that, without any kind of aspects or conjunctions taken into consideration, you are going to have a person who's very effective when they're talking. Their speech is going to be very effective. It carries a lot of effect in it when it's talking to people. The person's going to be good looking, very good looking, perhaps tall, a good personality on the outside. It's going to be tough to miss that person when that person walks into a room. People are going to notice that's the kind of personality. Now, keep in mind, Sun also gives you ego, right? When you know that you are smart, you are greatly educated, you know your stuff, you will have that ego also. So sun sitting here is exalted in the Aries. Exalted means you start with ego. You don't just start low, humble your way up. You start with ego. So more than likely, when you see sun in first house, in Aries especially, you're going to see that native having a lot of ego, having a high self-esteem, high self-confidence, knowing that they're good. Knowing that they're good, and then also knowing it in terms of showing it as well. So let's talk about the aspect of the sun. Sun has one aspect, which is a seventh aspect, which is going to house number 7 in this scenario. House 7 is a house of partners. Partners could be your spouse, partners could be your business partners, and also it's a house of mediation, okay? So when sun is looking at house 7, it's looking at it with its debilitated aspect, which means it's looking at it kind of like, hey, you need to come up to my level. I'm not happy with what you are doing. So also the spouse is going to be more on the lower side. The native is going to look at the spouse with not so much of that effect. So in this scenario, the relationship between the native and the spouse may not be as good. Again, unless there's a Jupiter aspect that's happening on house 7 with the Jupiter's 3 aspects, one of the 3 aspects. The 5th aspect would be the best. So say Jupiter's 5th aspect is falling on that house. Now things should improve. Things would be better. They would be different. However, let's say there's no benefic aspect from any of the benefic planets, natural benefic planets. Now things are going to be where this native is not going to be, the relationship is not going to be as good between the native, of the person whose horoscope it is, and also their spouse or even their business partners, whoever they partner up to do business with, not the greatest relationship. So to kind of remedy that, I would always say the person who has the sun in their first house should really watch their ego, watch their words as they're speaking. Think of the other person also having that knowledge, perhaps, at least try to listen to the other person, see what they have to say. Perhaps you think that all the 10 things they're going to say are not good. Well, maybe there's going to be 1 or 2 things in there that are going to be good, So put that ego, watch that ego, put that ego aside and listen to your partner, listen to your spouse, spend time with them, give them that time and your and your listening ears, so they also feel valued in the relationship. That could be the spouse, like I said, that could be a business partner. Make sure they feel valued if you want to improve that relationship. So if you have sun in your first house, especially in Aries, and you feel that you're not having that great relationship with your spouse or your business partners, watch yourself. Start looking at yourself and how you're reacting or talking to that other person, how quickly you're judging the other person, how quickly you are telling them, hey, that doesn't make sense. No, I'm not happy with what you're saying. How quickly you are just kind of rebutting them. Watch on that and things should improve. So hopefully you guys like that little description on Sun in Aries in the first house. Now, as always, we do provide consultations. Our consultations, my consultations are focused very much on how we can improve your life based on what all your horoscope is saying. So kind of your horoscope is telling you, it's always telling you what you're bringing into this life from your past life. What are your good past deeds? What are your bad past deeds? What do you need to work on in this lifetime? And how your life can be happy. Everybody deserves a happy life. So if we listen to what our horoscope is telling us, we can absolutely have a wonderfully happy life. And so our consultations are going to be focused on what can you improve upon in your life, what type of work you should be doing, how can you improve your relationships, and what can you do to work on yourself, and so you can have a happy life. So anyways, to reach out to get a consultation with us, go ahead and click on the link in the video description and fill out the form. We will reach back out to you and we will go from there. So please don't forget to hit subscribe and the bell icon. We post videos regularly so you don't miss out on any of our videos. And also, if you can hit the like button if you like the video, and please share it with your friends, whoever you think they might find this helpful. Thank you very much for watching.